Modulation here. We're Jenville. I'd be like Chris, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I've moved hotels. I'm in Pahrump, Nevada, and I've just finished a two-day defensive pistol shooting course at Front Sight. The shooting school's down the road, about 30 minutes down the road. I've moved hotels because the other hotel was just too unmentionable for words. I've decided that I'm going to nickname the United States of America, I'm not going to refer to it as the US anymore, I'm going to call it Two Times, because I have to say everything at least twice before anybody understands a word that I say. I must have a much, much stronger accent than I've been led to believe, because honestly, I have to repeat myself. I've had to learn to speak very slowly, quite loudly, and very deliberately in order for the natives to understand a word that I say. The Front Sight course itself was very, very good, very worthwhile. The facility is world class. It's a purpose-built shooting facility. The ranges are immaculate. The facilities are first rate. They've got all that side absolutely right. I've never seen a school as professionally set up and run as Front Sight. The most important thing, however, is their instructional staff. They really are very, very professional indeed. They've all got a lot of background, either military or law enforcement. They've all gone through extensive training through the Front Sight system. They are very, very good as instructors. They impart information very well. They don't waste any time. They pack a lot into a working day, and they don't let their egos intrude onto the proceedings. I was very, very impressed by the staff. Very friendly people, and as I say, they're able to get information across to you, correct deficiencies without making it a dick swinging competition. I was very, very impressed by them. I've got another 2 days with the AR-15 starting tomorrow, so that's Monday, Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to that. We had about 25 or 26 people in the class that I was in. The principal benefit for me was learning to present and shoot from the holster, because we're not allowed to do that in New Zealand without doing a 2-day holster course. It was started off with the basics, safety, loading, presenting, getting controlled pairs away, and doing all that and returning to the holster. Now, Front Sight has its own way of doing that particular sequence of events. I'm not going to say it's the best around, but it works very, very well. So, and it's safe. The only difficulty I had was we had two rather elderly people on the course. This was a man and a woman who would have been in their 80s. The elderly gentleman, I think, had a bit of Alzheimer's. He was there with his son, and the Front Sight runs a student coach situation. One person's up shooting, and one of the other students is directly behind them, keeping an eye on the safety aspects and also correcting anything that's conspicuously wrong. Well, this poor old bugger, he had to be talked through every single motion for the entire 2 days. I think he was really out of his depth. Similarly, the elderly woman who I was coach for, poor thing, she just lacked the strength to be able to manipulate the slide and carry out the IAs on a semi-automatic pistol. Just couldn't do it. Certainly couldn't do it while maintaining a safe direction. That barrel was all over the place. And although I kept saying to her, please, keep your finger off the trigger when you're doing these drills, both these people struggled with the complexity of the stoppage drills with semi-automatic pistols. And I think with elderly people, the lesson there might be that if you're going to give them a firearm, stick with a revolver, because there's not a great deal that can go wrong with a revolver. It's very reliable. There's no stoppage drills as such. It's just keep pulling the trigger and that damn thing will work. So that was just something I thought, an interesting observation. Front Sight teaches a weaver stance, which I don't like. There's nothing wrong with the weaver stance. It's perfectly fine, but my muscle memory, the training that I've had to date, is so ingrained that it really got to the point where I said to the instructors, just leave me alone with my two-handed, reasonably stiff-armed shooting technique, because it works. I was more accurate than anybody else in the class. It's not me being egotistical about it, it's simply a consequence of when I started pistol shooting in New Zealand, the range that I shoot at we have to shoot at 25 metres. It's an old underground range. We can't bring the targets in closer. And if you're starting to shoot from 25 metres from day one, it forces you to get your marksmanship principles down reasonably quickly and really concentrate on them. The American range here in the class ranges was from 15 metres forward, and we only really shot effectively from 3 metres back to 10. So what the Americans were struggling with at 10 and 15 metres was just bread and butter to me. I didn't have a problem with it. And consequently my groups were a lot tighter. And my shooting was a bit faster because, you know, it's just the consequence of having been taught, self-taught on a much longer range. So that was it really. I could talk for a while, but I'm not going to because I don't want to bore you. We're going to the rifle tomorrow, and then I'm off to Tulsa to a private school, US Shooting Academy, one-on-one tuition, and I hope to get some video footage there. In conclusion, the front sight setup is extremely good, and I'm going to come back, do some more of the advanced courses, and bring my wife, because I'm perfectly happy to deliver her to the instructors, knowing that after a couple of days she's going to get really good world-class tuition. And it's the other thing, just to conclude, the Americans, they're not only an armed society, they have the Second Amendment, they're an armed society, and they're also a very highly trained armed society. The quality of the training was better than you would find in most police departments and most militaries, and handgun anyway. We'll see whether that's the case with the rifles. I suspect with the close-in CQB stuff it probably will be. So that's about it. I don't think anything more useful to tell you without taxing your patience. I'll get back to you in a couple of days and let you know how the rifle component got on.